a UPK nigga, straight out of one West, living text, we invest in the things, instead of trying to contend with the stress, going through the text, no access, cultural press, slaves, niggas is dying off their ways, living in dirt, I was afraid, niggas cross off through the crossbar, you want a white chalk, over the bodies of those that you paid, Americans fit us, saying they fearless with the drugs in the hood, now my niggas delirious with a gun in my face, all because of my race, with boom flash, with some skills and murder my ass, like a chicken slaughter, I'm beating harder and harder, baptized with these words, never did it with water, so now we pray to the Father, yeah, shut the Father, that's looking for the water, I'm taking my dogs, nigga, it's wartime, lights up, nigga, showtime, got the green light on that ass, yeah, no time, you can boot up, shut up, but get your ass up, we ain't got time to be playing, it's all fucked up America, happy for the thief, jail for the slave, reaping what you sold, greedy, giving back what you gave, for a clean slate, trying to imitate, you was old fate, America, every city, state, this is your fate, whoa, 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 to America, whoa, 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 to America, whoa, 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 to America, whoa, 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 to America. On the timeline, giving no looking to expose for intricacies again. Fine, yeah, I'm I want shit. We getting lit, it's past time, so in a minute, I'm on that side. I hope we get it, we didn't, we can crash fine. Kind of simple way to feel it, catch your last line. But it will confuse the bad mind. A damn shame, that's the exact thing, with your ass fried. Bombs from the sky, rich devil lullaby, then a nigga fly. Hope we got an alibi, bombs from the sky, rich devil lullaby, devils is high. See it from the ball out, from the ball out, devils from the fall out, all our warfare, nightmares in the big house, the middle of some years and thinking shit won't turn around. I never learned that these motherfucking birds out, yeah, in the streets. Holding the riches for all of you angels, bring hope to this beast. You room for time, but we play for keeps. I pray to my Father, bring hope to this beast. Remember them times we hung on the trees. All of you nations bow down to your knees. Remember them shit, they brought us the fleece. Fuck the Apollo, bring them the heat. Whoa, 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 to America. Whoa, whoa, to America. Whoa, 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 to America. Whoa, 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 to America.
God is going to destroy this empire. You got to see Simon in his place. You think them fires in California is bad? That's just the beginning of what the Lord is about to do. Because you've been evil to the Lord's people. You've been wicked to the Most High's children, man. You've been destructive to the 12 tribes of Israel. Let me tell you something, black man. You got to put on your strength now, man. Put back on your strength and might, black man, because your day is coming. Your day is coming because the Lord is going to bring judgment on this earth.
All right, let's go ahead and clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Shalom, Israel. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the Commanding General YAHANNA, man. We are here today for Tuesday Brotherhood class, man. We're out here letting Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians know what kind of brotherhood and sisterhood they are supposed to have to one another. Because right now, we think brotherhood and sisterhood is yelling at one another, screaming at one another, cussing one another out, threatening to kill one another, sitting here selling drugs to one another. But true brotherhood comes from your temperament. Right now, we don't have, like, we just ready to kill. We just ready to sit here and do whatever to someone. But when it comes down to dealing with the white man, oh, you want to sit here and back up. You want to sit here and back down to them, but you ready to kill your own people. You ready to kill your own brother. So this class today is going to show you how to be slow to anger. It's going to show men, it's going to show you how to make sure that you're controlling yourselves, dealing with your wives, dealing with brothers, dealing with other sisters, dealing with people in the world. All these things is going to show you how to slow and be slow to anger. All right. For women, this is going to show you how you should act and be with your husband. It's going to show you new tricks and new ways for you to be more of a feminine princess. It's going to show you how not to always be loud and clamorous. It's going to show you how to, sometimes it's good for you to bite your tongue. Sometimes it's good for you to be like, well, you know what? I know I'm mad about this situation, but instead of me just being quick to speak, how about I just need to be quiet? How about I need to watch my words because right now I'm in my feelings. Right now I'm mad. So instead of me sitting here doing something that might embarrass myself and make my husband and the household look bad, maybe I'll just be quiet. Maybe I'll just be like, you know what, let me calm down first. So that way when I go to my outer one will hear me out. And as brothers, there's times that we sit here and we'll hear something or we'll see something that our rib do and we'll sit here and be pissed off, mad. But there's times that you need to just calm down real quick before you say something. Because when you say the first thing that comes to your mind, it don't always go well. Because most of the times, first thing that comes to your mind when you're mad and angry is something that can hurt the other person. And when I'm talking to y'all, I'm talking to myself. Like, this is a daily checking. And this is something that daily that you're going to have to check yourself on. Because if you don't check yourself on this daily, you will mess up. You will do something emotionally. And if you do something emotionally, then the repercussions for those things could be either good or bad. And most of the times when you're going based off your emotions, the repercussions are bad. So let's start off by Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 5, verse 10. We're going to start off there because, like I said, this whole lesson today is going to be about slow to anger. It's going to help you be a brother to your own neighbor. It's going to help you be a brother to your other brother when he step on your shoes. It's going to help you sit here and think about what you do before you just fly off the handle and have road rage and you're killing other people based off of your road rage or based off of your emotions, based off of you being mad about a situation. We're going to go into the scriptures and prove and show you how you can be slow to anger and how being slow to anger is the best thing that you can do. Let me know once you have it out.
Come. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus out of the Apocrypha, chapter 5, verse 10. Be steadfast in thy understanding, and let thy word be the same. Verse 11. Be swift to hear, and let thy life be sincere, and with patience give answer.
So what is this talking about right here? If you just reading this for the first time, what is this really telling you? It says, be steadfast in thy understanding and let thy word be the same. So what would you say? What does that mean? Go ahead.
Pretty much like don't jump to conclusions.
Right.
Because you'll pretty much like give the wrong response and it may not be that situation or whatever.
Right. Don't be quick to respond.
Right. And then verse 11 is saying be swift to hear. So like one of the I guess quotes or mottos I like to say, the Lord gave us 2 eyes, 2 ears, and 1 mouth. So you should look and listen twice as much as you speak.
Exactly. That's exactly what it's talking about. When it's telling you to be swift to hear and let thy life be sincere and with patience give an answer, that means most of the times we like to sit here and we'll halfway listen to something being said, and then we're automatically jump to a conclusion in our mind. I can sit here and be like, man, hey, I had to deal with that situation yesterday. Man, what situation you had to deal with? Well, such and such, they around here talking noise. Oh man, they always talking noise. What you had to do to them? Like, brother, let me tell you, because it might not even be that bad. Such and such might have, they might have just said something out of the spirit, and then there was a quick correction. Or I could be like, or in an instance with a wife, we can go with marriage on this. A lot of arguments between a man and a woman starts because nobody is swift to hear. Like a lot of people, they want to speak so quickly, but they know nobody wants to hear. So you could be talking to your wife and she says something like, you could tell her, I don't like when you sit here and you don't clean up the kitchen after you done cooking. And because you just say, I don't like that you don't clean up the kitchen when you done cooking, she can already jump to a conclusion of how the conversation gonna go from there. Oh, he just mad because I ain't clean up the kitchen, but I was gonna clean up the kitchen. I just ain't clean it up fast enough for him, and he always mad about something. Right there, you you just heard something and you just already have your response and you're not knowing what your husband's gonna really say. Or as a husband, you'll hear your wife sitting here and it sound like complaining to you. She'll be around here, well, I don't like it when this is done. You'll be like, no, you just finding some reason to nag. What do you want to nag about today? But because you really ain't here out, like you really don't understand what the problem is. Now, if you listen all the way through and through, and it is that, then you at least heard her out. And like I said, when I'm talking to y'all, I'm talking to self, because this is a self-check that I always have to do. Because I have to make myself be swift to hear and slow to respond. Because if you have patience when you're about to respond and give an answer, after you listen to everything, you can hear every angle on how to deal with that situation. But if you're swift to speak and slow to hear, you might deal with that situation in the incorrect manner. You might be thinking, okay, she just nagging, but she just wanted to say something to you real quick about something that hurt her feelings, but she really not bringing a grievance. She's just letting you know that this hurt her feelings, but she's over it, and she just wanted to communicate that with you. So next time, maybe you say it in a different way. But because you so quick to respond, and since y'all so quick to respond, now all of a sudden, nobody's being heard, and now it's a yelling match and an arguing. Like y'all just yelling back and forth, and nobody's being heard, nobody's being listened to. You have to be swift to hear, and you have to be patient when you give an answer. Because if you just go based off the first thing that goes to your mind, it might be the wrong thing, man. Let's go to Psalms. And you could have gained the brother right then and there. But because you're not swift to hearing your brother out and you ready to throw hands immediately, now you just sat here and now somebody's dead. Because now you fighting, and when you fighting, now someone getting hit with a bottle, or the fight don't just end in the club. Now y'all going outside, y'all meet up in the parking lot, now somebody got a pistol because you didn't want to hear your brother out. You didn't want to be swift to hear. You just wanted to give a response so quickly because you felt played.
Right.
But if you were slow to anger and swift to hearing one another before you give a response, and be patient with your response. Think about your response before you give a response. If you would do that, a lot of things could be established, and a lot of things could be handled in the correct way, in a correct manner. Let me know once you have that Psalms. Go ahead and read it.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 37, verse 8. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil. Verse 9. For evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon the Lord, they shall inherit the earth.
So we're going to go ahead and read that again. When it says cease from anger and forsake wrath, what is that letting you know? If it's telling you to cease, what does cease mean?
Stop.
Stop from anger. Stop yourself from being angry. Like when you feel yourself being pissed off, man, try to stop yourself immediately. Because as a warrior, as a man, as a soldier, as the head of your household, if you get emotional You are no longer thinking logical. You're not thinking rational. You're not thinking in your right mind because you're emotional. You're caught up in your feelings behind whatever's happening. So now you are not thinking correctly. You're not thinking in the right manner. So you have to cease from that anger. And it says, forsake wrath. You have to forsake it. You have to depart from it. That's why it's saying forsake wrath. Depart from your wrath. Depart from it. Don't be a part of that, man. Leave it. Because if you don't leave, a lot of things can happen. Why do you think that the cops are being called all the time for domestic violence? Because nobody's ceasing from their anger. Why do you think that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, why do you think that we're killing each other out on the streets? Because nobody's ceasing from their anger. Why do you think marriages are the way that they are? Why do you think the generals get so many calls about marriage counsels? Because nobody's ceasing from their anger. Everybody's just going based off of their wrath. But if we would cease from it and forsake, which means depart from, leave, or quit, if you would be quick to do those things, when you feel yourself being mad, maybe you need to be like, all right, I feel you. All right, yeah, I'm about to go for a little while. As soon as you feel yourself about to argue with your rib, be like, all right, yeah, all right, that's a bit, and leave. Come back once things is calm. Come back when you're in your right mind. Sisters, if you feel like you about to argue with your husband, be like, hey, Salaki, sir, if I may, can we talk about this later? Because I don't feel like this is gonna go well and I don't want to be out of order. Like those things right there, ceasing from your anger and forsaking your wrath, doing it in the correct way, in the correct manner, it will stop so much hatred for one another. It will stop so much problems with one another. These things that we are supposed to be doing, this is in the Bible. Like they want to tell us to love one another, but they don't want to show us how to love one another. The Christian church want to tell you to love everybody. No, you're supposed to love your neighbor. Love the person that's going through the same struggles with you. Right. The white man ain't going through the same struggles that we're going through. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we were taught to hurt each other from birth. There was no blacks versus white fights. In everybody's middle school and high school, you can't sit here and tell me in everybody's middle school and high school that y'all never had a blacks versus Mexican fight. In everybody's middle school and high school. You can't sit here and tell me that. Because I know in my high school and my middle school, we had blacks versus Mexican fights. It was blacks versus Hispanics all the time. Telling you straight up and down. Blacks would wear all black, the Hispanics would wear brown. And we'll wait till the last day of school and we just brawl. Because that's what we was taught. We was taught them Hispanics ain't like us from the jump. And they just knew that the blacks ain't like them. So we fighting one another. And we couldn't cease from our anger or forsake our wrath because we were too busy doing what the enemy taught us to do. The oppressor taught us to hate one another so that way we could never get together. Because anytime blacks and Hispanics, if we ever get together, if we ever gather ourselves together, like Zephaniah 2:1 says, man, this world will crumble. It will fall. Like right now, see, and this is so crazy. Let's talk about right now. You know, Ukraine and Russia, they about to go to war right now because the Bible is telling blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to cease from their anger. But see, the white man, they don't cease from their anger. The oppressor, he doesn't cease from his anger. He don't forsake his wrath because that's all he feeds off of. He feeds off of that. It's like what's the best way to put it? That's how he gets his rocks off. That's how he gets his thrills. By being angry, by wanting to take something, by wanting to hurt somebody. That's how he took our land. He just wanted to get his rocks off. He wanted to do something that made him feel good, that made him feel like he was strong or something. So what is he doing right now? The Ukraine and Russia, they sitting here going against each other. They have Vladimir talking about, you know what? I know these two little countries right here. I know they're independent from Russia and the Ukraine, but you know what? We about to cross that line. The line they said don't cross. I'm about to cross that line anyway, and I'm about to take over. Do you feel like he's ceasing from his anger? He's not ceasing from his anger because he feels like his wrath is how he controls something. Our oppressor taught us to be mad, be angry, and hate one another. That's what our oppressor taught us. Our oppressor is the devil, man. That's a deceiver. He's taught us to hate one another. He's taught us to go against one another, and he's doing it to himself. They are going against one another right now. It's at the point right now, they just waiting for somebody to push the button. And I push the button. I dare you to push the button. Oh, you gonna walk over then. That's what the oppressor looks. They look for that because that's the only way they can get their rocks off. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we need to stop letting our oppressor get their rocks off by seeing us kill one another. We need to cease from our anger and forsake our wrath. Brother, read verse 9.
For evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon the Lord, they shall inherit the earth.
Man, understand, you are sitting here trying to find every single way possible to do evil to one another. Understand this. While you sitting here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about this just real quick. While you're sitting here looking for a way to steal and come up on your own people, your own brother, you know, this is what we talk about with the drug dealers. The drug dealers, you'll sit here and give somebody some drugs, but in your mind the whole time, you're like, all right, I'm about to front you this. You should come back with at least 20,000. If you don't come back with 20,000, and that's the problem right now. The problem right now is we're looking at each other to do evil to one another. But what does the Bible say? It says what?
It says, for evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon the Lord shall inherit the earth.
Understand this, man. Here in the I.S.U.P.K, we are waiting on the Lord, man. We are waiting on the Most High. See, we're not sitting here being evildoers. We're not sitting here trying to set up someone. We're not trying to do all that, man. That was done in the world. When you come into the I.S.U.P.K, you become a new creature, man. You have to not do these things anymore. These things was like second nature to us. It was nothing for us to want to fight someone that's our brother. It was nothing for us to want to go run around and try to go hurt someone badly. It was nothing because that's what we was taught. Anybody that had OGs, you know, the OG said if somebody come against you, you know what, you got to go handle that. And we was taught to go handle that. But see, the original OG, like the real OG, triple OG, the Most High is telling us, you know what? Those that wait upon me shall inherit the earth. If you wait for me, then you'll inherit the earth. If you cease from your anger and AKA not do stuff that's stupid, because when you're emotional, you do stupid things. Like I've dealt with that. Especially when I was a young man. Man, I used to get checked by my camp leader. I used to get checked by Captain Kahan. I used to get checked by the generals for doing stupid things that I wasn't supposed to do, just because I was being emotional. Like, but if I would cease from my anger and forsake my wrath, I wouldn't have nothing. What they were doing, they were trying to stop me from being an evildoer. So that way I wouldn't be cut off from the Most High's blessing. And that's what all of us did when we came into the I.S.U.P.K. That goes for men and women. That goes for children too. As a man, you're supposed to teach your family not to be an evildoer. You're supposed to teach your family to control themselves. You have to teach these children nowadays to control themselves. And you have to teach your wife, because if you don't, then what happens? They'll go out in this world and they'll be quick to die. We sit here all the time and we see it happen. All day, every day, we see it happening, man. And what we gotta do is we gotta stop it. So that way we can inherit the earth. We don't wanna lose the earth because we too busy being prideful and we wanna be angry all the time. Stop losing. It's time for us to win. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, it's time for us to win.
Right.
And the only way we can win is if we know how to control our anger. The Lord will give us a time for us to let off all that anger. Like me and my brother Tazadak, we like to spar all the time. Like we train all the time because we just waiting on the opportunity. But the Lord tells us all the time, no. I know y'all want to. No. Because when he does give us the opportunity, he knows that we're going to take that opportunity. But the reason why he doesn't give us that opportunity is because he knows right now that's not what he needs. He don't need the hunters. He don't need the people that's going out there hunt. He needs somebody to go fish right now.
Right.
So right now he's like, yeah, go ahead and train, do all that, stay in condition. But I need y'all to go get y'all people. I need y'all to stop them from wanting to hurt one another. I need y'all to stop them from making stupid decisions out of their emotions. What I need y'all to do right now, go be some fishermen. Go get them people out of there and teach them to be hunters. Go ahead, get them brothers that's sitting here being emotional and teach them how not to be emotional. Teach them how to control their anger so that way when they do stuff, they're doing stuff strategically. Wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. Go ahead, brother.
Hey, so like if I may, so what you're saying so heavy, it's just reminding me like that the Lord, you know what I'm saying? Like how the scriptures say, like the Lord is a man of war. Like the reason I was able to really, because I ain't had no real background with the church, like some brothers got, so like when I had heard, you know what I'm saying? Like when I had heard what it was from the scriptures and I could see that I was living it, it hit even harder seeing that brothers who came from backgrounds like me was able to overcome that too.
Right.
Like niggas was able to stop selling dope and niggas was able to stop, you know what I'm saying, getting whores and stop, you know what I'm saying, kicking in doors and just whatever they was into, however they was doing it, like they was able from the scriptures too. Like, so
yeah,
it's what you saying so heavy, like that like how you saying like that discipline. That's right. What it is. That discipline not to just go with your move and be out there like that.
Because we all came from it. We all had a mindset in the world that we would go with our move first. That would be that. I'm going with my move, and whatever happens. That was the mindset that we had. But understand this. That's the mindset the oppressor gave us.
Right.
The oppressor who oppressed us and put us in that. Had put us in the barrios, in the ghettos, gave us the mindset of, I'm gonna go with my move. And the reason why he gave us that mindset is so as soon as you go with your move, you either dead or in prison.
Right.
So he sat here and he was playing chess while you was playing checkers.
Right. Oh, we weren't even playing the game. We weren't even in the game.
No, we wasn't in the game. I'm telling you, you thinking you playing the same game as him, he playing a totally different game.
Right.
Like he got the PS5 and you got the Nintendo.
You got the Game Boy.
You got the first Nintendo with the ABC and the analog on the other side. Right. Like the directional pad.
Right.
Like it's time for us to start playing the game, man.
Right.
It's time for us to be playing the PS8 while they around here playing the PS5. But instead of that, man, the first thing we have to do is we have to control our anger. And like I said, this lesson today is going to help you. I'm going to give you the precepts and the tools to help yourself be slow to anger and slow to response. And what I'm going to teach you, like I said, this can go for marriages. This can go for brothers talking to other brothers. This can go for sisters talking to sisters. This can go from high-ranking men talking to the lower men. This can go for the lower men talking to the high-ranking men. Like, this goes for every scenario. You talking to somebody out in the world. You talking to, like, it goes for everything that you do. Because at the end of the day, we have to be strategic in how we move. Because they're looking for a reason to shoot us down. They're looking for a reason to gun us down. They're looking for a reason to kill us. They're looking for a reason to sit here and put us in jail. They're waiting on a black man and his wife to get into an argument where someone got to be called the cops on. Cops got to be called for it. And see, this is the mindset we got to get out of. We got to stop wanting to call the cops first.
Right.
That's why we have the I.S.U.P.K. The I.S.U.P.K. are the lawmakers. Like we sit here and we enforce the laws that was already made by the Most High. Let me say it like that.
Right. Dang.
We are the enforcers. So if you're sitting here thinking about calling the laws, call your camp leader first. Call them. Hey, Salakia, sir, I feel like this is going on. You know, me and my husband, we're not getting along, and I feel like it's about to get into an altercation, and he yelling. You hear him right now, he yelling. And you want to know what's going to happen? Immediately, they're going to be like, all right, no sweat. Your camp leader is going to talk. Whoever's wrong in that matter, he's going to be like, all right, you know what? All right, we're going to take this counsel right now. This is an emergency. Let's go right now. Get that man on the line. Get that sister on the line. Hey, Shema. Everybody, Shema. Why are we here? What's going on? Speak one at a time. And the person who's the maddest is going to be, man, dude, this is why we here, because this, and this is why we here, because this. Hold on. Let's go ahead and let's get this down. Let's break this down real quick. So what did this stem from? You see how we can fix this without having to bring in the oppressors' enforcements? We have our own enforcers. Why do we have to bring in the oppressors' enforcers?
Right.
Because they're not trying to fix nothing. What they're going to do first is they're going to find out who's the aggressor, and whoever's the aggressor, you know what? Oh, if you're a man and you're an aggressor, you're going to jail that day. You got to leave the house immediately. It don't matter if the woman's the aggressor. What they're going to be like, whose name is on the lease? Oh, his name is on the lease? Oh, well, ma'am, you got to go. But if it's a male, he going to be like, he don't care if your name on the lease or not. He going to be like, you the aggressor. You need to calm down, sir. Calm down. Oh, you're not going to calm down? Oh, you're not going to listen to me? Hey, lock him up. And we have to stop that. And the first thing we have to do is we have to cease from our anger. We have to stop our anger. We got to learn how to control ourselves. Let's go to Proverbs. Let's go to Proverbs 15:1. That's the first one we're going to go to. And this right here is going to help marriages right here. And this also would help with any other conversation, but this will definitely help with marriages, because a lot of times this thing right here is what normally sits here and causes a lot of problems in the household. But if you would do what this scripture says, it would alleviate a lot of problems that's in the house. Go ahead and read.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 1. A soft answer turneth away wrath.
Read that one more time, brother.
A soft answer turneth away wrath.
Understand this, brothers and sisters. There's times that you have to have a soft word to turn away wrath. See, and what I'm gonna talk about first, I'm gonna talk to the brothers first. Like, there's times that we let our pride get in the way. There's times that we are very prideful people. And we'll sit here, and when you're dealing with another brother, you're not gonna like how some things and some checkings are given to you. But see, I've learned this over time, because I ain't have this at first. I'm not gonna lie and say that I did, because I did. Man, I had to learn that if I would soften my words sometimes, I would turn away a lot of wrath that was given to me. But I was so prideful because I ain't trying to look like no punk. Ain't nobody gonna punk me. Ain't nobody gonna come to me talking any kind of way, talking reckless or anything like that. I'm too wild right now. Ain't nobody gonna talk to me any kind of way. If you're gonna talk to me, you're gonna talk to me like a man. And you're gonna understand that I'm a man first too. But the thing about it is, most of the times that these check-ins are happening, they're talking to you like a man. They're talking to you like a soldier. They're talking to you like a brother that's in the I.S.U.P.K. They're talking to you like a brother that knows better and is choosing to do wrong instead of doing what's right. So yes, sometimes it's going to be stern. Sometimes it's going to be stiff talking to, because that's what you need at that point. That's what you need at that time. And when that happens, sometimes, like, When we are so emotional, understand this, our demon has taken over when you're super emotional. So at that time, you're not hearing what's really being said to you. You're just hearing the tone that is being said to you in. And this goes for brothers and sisters. Y'all not listening to what's really being said to you. At times, sisters, y'all not listening to why your husband is saying what he's saying to you. Because you're listening to the tone instead of what he is saying.
Right.
But see, that's where it comes into a soft word turns away wrath. There's times that, brother, when you're getting checked by your outer one, like you're going to have to be like, you know, it's lucky, sir. Like, you know, I understand exactly what you're saying, and I was wrong. Like, and also, let me just tell you this. As an officer of 5,000, we have to watch our words too. Like, and I'm not afraid to even speak on it. Like, General Muhammad has checked me, and I didn't even know that I was talking a certain way to a brother. General Muhammad overheard me speaking to a brother, asking a brother, hey, I need you to do this. And because I'm trying to get the orders done expediently, like I'm trying to get them done quick, General Muhammad did not like how I spoke to that brother. And General Muhammad pulled me to the side and was like, Sayyak, you know, there's always ways to speak to brothers. And I feel like the way that you spoke to that brother, I know what your intentions were. He might not have felt any type of way about how you say it, but I did. Because, you know, when you said what you said, you could have said it like this. You could have said it like, you know, brother, I know we got a lot to go on. We got a lot to do. And I know that you got a lot going on right now, but this is what I need you to do. Can you do that for me, please? There's a way, and when General Muhammad, he checked me. And in no way, shape, form, or fashion am I calling General Muhammad soft, but he used soft words to check me to the point where I could not even sit here and argue back or be mad about the checking, because he cut me. Because he showed me exactly what he was looking for. He was like, this is how you should speak. You should speak like this. So who are you to be mad, and who are you to think that you're mighty when the mightiest men in the I.S.U.P.K uses soft words to turn away wrath all the time? They use their soft words, and it's not because they have to use soft words. It's because they choose to use the soft words so they can get what needs to be done and handled. Go ahead,
Hey, so like if I may, sir, and what you're saying so heavy, because it also go back to what you were saying before about how we are equipped to handle disputes.
Right.
Like it wasn't even a situation, but he gave you the tools for preventative maintenance.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like any encounter you have with a brother, so that way you didn't say it and offend a brother in the future.
Right.
Like he was handling it from the jump, and that just goes to show you like how the Lord is with the I.S.U.P.K under Commander General YAHANNA. Like,
that's
like
right.
We just like as a people without the I.S.U.P.K Commander General YAHANNA, like we don't even know what it is to have like someone that cares about us enough to mediate our disputes.
Not at all.
Like, that's why we call the oppressor. That's why our women call the oppressor. Right. But like if they knew that they had somebody that loved them and loved the person they was in the dispute with, that, you know what, both of y'all could have an outcome that was beneficial. One person don't gotta go down.
Right. One person ain't gotta go to jail that night.
Right.
You know?
Somebody ain't gotta get beat up.
Right. But we're gonna keep reading. It says a soft word turns away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. So let's just go ahead and break down what does grievous mean. A grievous words stirs up wrath. What does that mean? Does anybody know what grievous is? Go ahead.
What kind? Grievous, something bad, very severe or serious.
Mm-hmm. So at that point, and there's a in the Oxford America written thesaurus, grievous would means wounding, damaging, or hurtful, or afflicting. That's go ahead.
I got the Merriam Webster if you want it, sir.
Go ahead.
It's a causing or characterized by severe pain, suffering, or sorrow, a grievous wound, loss, oppressive, onerous, grievous cost of war, serious, grave. And that's what they got right there.
So understand, now that we understand what that means, when it says, but grievous words stir up anger, what is that saying right there? It's saying that your grievous words, your hurtful words, your damaging words can sit here and stir up anger. Because you won't be soft. Because you won't sit here and be like, well, you know what, sir? Kind of want con, sir. Slack it, sir. Sisters, because you won't be like, well, you know what? I don't want, I apologize. Well, slack it, sir. I really didn't like that this was said. I didn't like the fact that you yelled at me. Well, you know what? I wouldn't have yelled at you if you would have did what I said. Well, you know what? Kind of want con, sir. And slack it, sir. I won't do that again. That right there, oh, that can turn away a man's wrath so quickly. Brothers, dealing with other situations, there's times that we have to get stuff done. And because we want to get stuff done, you'll give an order. And if that order is not completed, you're going to check that person right then and there. But as soon as you about to check that person, then he'd be like, hey, slack it, sir. You know what? You're absolutely correct, sir. And I should have got that done. You know what? Give me 20 minutes, sir. I'm going to get it done right now. I'm going to get it done ASAP. Salakia for not getting it done sooner. Do you know what that can change? You know how that can turn? First and foremost, let me just tell you, you always want to be that brother that can be called upon to get an order done. Because when you're not called upon to get that order done, that means that you are someone that, like, you can't be trusted. Like that should be the sickest thing that you ever feel. Like, you talking about sick to your stomach. You should feel sick to your stomach when men don't call upon you to complete orders. And most of the times it's because you're argumentative. You'll get an order and you start murmuring. You'll start talking under your breath. Man, why they always giving me one, man? I'm sick and tired of now these orders, man. I don't even want to do this. See, you're talking to yourself and you stirring up your own anger because you feel like what they're asking you to do is grievous.
Right.
You feel like it's too hard for you, or you feel like, you know what, I'm always getting told to do this, but you don't understand what the Lord is preparing you for. The Lord is preparing you for more, but He can't give you more if you can't control your anger. The Lord will take away everything He has for you if you cannot control your anger. Sometimes you got to give them soft words, man. Like that goes for being an idle one, talking to a man under you. That goes for being a husband talking to your wife. That goes for a wife talking to their husband. You have to give those soft words so you can turn away that wrath, because if you don't, then you're doing nothing but stirring up anger. And we're going to keep going. We're going to go to verse 2. Proverbs 15, verse 2. And it says, the tongue.
I got you, sir.
Go ahead. You got it?
I'm okay.
Go ahead and read it once you have it.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 2. The tongue of the wise uses knowledge aright, but the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness. See, this goes into back where I was talking about earlier. When I talk about when we talk about being patient with your answers. See, when you're a wise person, like, you will start doing things and moving different. Like, you won't think of every conversation as an argument. You won't think of every conversation as a debate. Right. Because that's why most marriages have the problems that they have, is because it's no longer a conversation we're having a debate, because I feel like you're trying to usurp my authority. So now we're debating every time we have a conversation. But that's why the Bible's telling us to use soft words to turn away wrath, and not those grievous words. Because if you were wise, you will understand that this conversation that we're about to have is not a debate. Right. We don't have to sit here. We're not in a courtroom. This is not court. Right. And that's what we do a lot of times. When we have conversations with one another, it's court. You're saying what you feel, I'm saying what I feel, and we're not even looking and listening to one another. We're trying to cut one another instead of listening to one another. But see, if you're that wise man,
You understand that, you know what, sometimes I gotta listen. All right, let me listen to everything that she says. Okay. She's saying all this stuff, and there's a, you know, she kind of disrespectful. You know what? All right, let me keep listening. And then you understand, okay, her feelings is hurt. And because I'm the man, I'm the husband, I have to sit here and hear that her feelings is hurt and take that in consideration. But then I have to correct her, because even though your feelings is hurt, that don't mean that you come at me sideways. So you have to be like, okay, let me listen. Let me be the wise man. Let me think logically. Let me not be emotional along with her. Let me think logically. Okay. Okay, you didn't like this, you didn't like that, you cussing. Okay. Okay. You listen to her until she's done. And then you be like, okay, is it my turn? All right, well, you know what? I want to tell you Salakia for the fact. Because she just got done yelling, cussing, and screaming. And you down here like, you know what? I want to tell you Salakia. Because I know what I did hurt your feelings. And then you start correcting the situation. Like, those things right there can turn away wrath so quickly. And for the sisters, I know y'all feel like, you know, when y'all angry, it's time for you to express all your emotions. And this also goes for the brothers. Let me tell y'all, because when I get angry, you know, the old me, once I got angry, man, I'm saying whatever. And it's up and it's stuck and it ain't coming back down. Like, whatever it is, fam, we up. Like, don't even, it's up there. Don't ask for it to come back down, because it ain't coming back down. When I see you, it's on sight. And I'm just pouring out foolish words. Because now, even though I meant everything that I said, now I just put myself in a situation that if this person thinks like how I think, if someone tell me it's up there and it's stuck, when I see him, I know it's on sight. And because it's on sight, I gotta go handle him before he handle me. And for women, y'all sit here, and I got you, brother. For women, when y'all sit here and y'all arguing with your man, arguing with your husband, y'all are spitting out foolish words that you don't mean. Like, when you start becoming clamorous because you're in your feelings and you're mad at that point, like, you no longer are talking with your right mind. So now you're spitting out all these things that you're going to later, once you calm down, once you think about it, you done told your husband, F you, I don't care about this, I don't care about you. Man, I'm going to call the cops on you. Nah, I don't care. I don't care if they kill you. I'm going to call the cops. But now, since your man left, now your husband done left the house. Now, all of a sudden, you by yourself. Now, all of a sudden, somebody beating on the door, somebody knocking on the door late at night. You don't know who it is. And the man that you would have been like, you know what, I want to sit here. I can go cuddle under him and he'll make sure he go check that. He gone. He nowhere to be found. And you got somebody beating, knocking on your door, and you trying to figure out what's going on. Because you're using your foolish words. You're not being wise when you speak. Because when you could have had an opportunity to use the soft words, you decided to be loud and clamorous. Go ahead, brother.
Hey, Salaki, sir, what you're saying so heavy. Like, that's how you know that we family, and that's how you know that the scriptures is talking about us forgiving one another. Right. Because we forgive the oppressor so easy. Right. Like, the oppressor is continually slaying us in the streets right now, has slain us for hundreds of years, right. And we quick to forgive them. We'll pet them in the goddamn courtroom, give them hugs, all of that. But that brother or that sister, you, like you said, it's on sight. Like, we holding grudges to the death. Like, like, we not trying to squash no beef. Nah. Like, we hold, like, you know, don't even, like, we coming back around shooting up the funeral type. Right. Like, you know, it's like just to people that care. Like, you already, the person I was beefing with is already been taken care of. But anybody that cared about you got to get it too. Right. Like, that level, like, why we don't have that level of anger and disgust toward the one that's oppressing us. And that's because the scriptures is about us. Right. Like, man, give that brother a hand, because what he just brought out is super heavy. Hey, check that door out. Like what the brother said was heavy. And that's exactly what happens. Because in the world right now, when it's up, it's stuck, man. It don't matter. Like, it done got to the point where brothers nowadays is threatening to shoot up the ribs, man.
Like, you got beef with this man, but instead of you sitting here talking to this man or sitting down and having a conversation, man, you tell him, man, when it's on site. But then you talk to your partners after he leaves and be like, "Same fam, hey, I know where his old lady stay at. Yeah, I want to make sure I get him. I want to hit him where it hurts. So you know what? Yeah, his old lady, his baby mama stay right here, man. Hey, go pay his baby mama a visit. Yeah, his T lady stay down the street from me. Hey, go pay her a visit. Oh, his G mama stay down. Go pay her a visit. Yeah, I want to get everybody that's around him. I don't want to touch him. Don't touch him. Right. Touch everybody he cares about. Like that what we were taught. Right. Like we was taught that from the oppressor, man. Right. What part of that is what the Most High is telling us to do? The scriptures are for us, man. Right. Because the Most High knows that we some gutter gangsters. Because the Most High is the Most High. Right. He a gutter gangster. Right. Like I said, he the original gangster. Like, he knows the 12 tribes of Israel. If we got to get down and we got to do whatever we got to do, we going to do it to the fullest effect. That's why we know we the best of everything we do. We the best basketball players. We the best athlete. When it comes down to selling drugs, we the best at it. When it comes down to doing drugs, we the best at it. When it comes down to being hard-headed and sinning, we're the best at that too. Right. But what we need to do is be the best at following the law, statutes, and commandments and knowing how to control our anger so that way we're not being locked out. We're not being locked up and killed out on these streets. Right. Why can't we be the best in that? Why we can't be the best in showing brotherhood and sisterhood to one another? Right. Why we can't be the best in communicating with one another? Why we can't be the best in what's righteous? It's because we're too busy trying to be the best in everything else that the oppressor says is righteous instead of what the Most High said is righteous, man. It's time for us to get away from that. It's time for us to step away from all those things, man.
Go ahead, like what you're saying so heavy too, like the Most High is like he the gangster that care about his people. Though.
Oh yeah,
like it's different types of the oppressor is that gangster that everybody around them there's no trust in the circle.
Right.
But the Most High is that gangster where like nobody want to test him because he's staying on his word. But if you with him, you getting shown the utmost love and you dying for him too because you know that he dying for you.
Right. Well, we're gonna go to Proverbs 16:32. Because what you said is heavy, man. The Most High is like he gangster. Like people don't understand this. Like the white man understands it, but they don't understand it fully. Like because first and foremost, the white man knows that the Lord is not with the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians right now, because we're still sitting here doing the opposite of what the Lord told us to do. They know that we're failing the Most High because we're not following his law, statutes, and commandments. They know we're failing the Most High because we can't control our anger. That's why the prison system has so many of us in it. Because we're not following. We're not doing what we're supposed to do. The oppressor knows for a fact he is going to fall. His kingdom is going to fall.
They were ready to fire them missiles any moment.
Man, I'm telling you, with Russia and the Ukraine,
Russia is in the Ukraine. Right
man,
now.
They ready to push the button. Right. They ready to push the button. And Biden went ahead and signed that.
Oh yeah.
He went ahead and signed it and said, "Hey, you know what? If y'all step foot over there, all right, fam, don't make big old Biden come on." Like he feel like he doing something. Oh, that's big Biden. Mr. If you don't vote for me, you not black. That's big Biden.
Right.
Man, he needs nothing. He got this office right now. And this office right now, like everybody is afraid of what the president's going to do. Everybody is afraid because he has so much power and all that. I'm afraid of what the Most High is going to do.
Right.
I'm not afraid of what the president's going to do. If you're going to push the goddamn button if you're going to push it.
Right.
Because I can't wait for the Most High to come back. And what you're going to do is just help us. But what we got to do, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we have to love one another, prefer one another, and we have to work on our anger to one another.
Right.
And we have to be smarter. Like I said, it's time for us to start playing chess.
Right.
Let's play the 2040 chess.
Right.
Instead of let's playing the 1980s chess. You understand what I'm saying? Let's play the metaverse chess. Let's play the chess that don't nobody else know how to play but the Most High, because we're following what he's telling us to do, man. Let's cease from our anger. Let's love one another. Like husbands and wives, let's stop fighting and arguing, because there's more things that we can be doing right now. It's time for us to be peaceful. We got all these kids, man. Let me tell you something. In Texas, kids is popping out left and right, man. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. So y'all might need to catch up to what Texas is doing, because Texas, we popping them out, man. And the children have to see something presentable in their household, man. They can't be raised up like the society that we lived in. We have generational curses, and I know I'm not the only person, man. We grew up in a household where we saw mommy and daddy arguing and fighting. We saw it. If we didn't see it, we heard it at night. We done heard the thumps. We done heard the door slams. We done heard somebody screaming and crying. We done saw dad walk out the doors and never come back. We done seen it all, because that's generational curses. And it's all because our parents were weak. They were weak-minded. They did not follow the law, statutes, and commandments. They didn't want to cease from their anger. They didn't know that marriage is forever. And yeah, you might argue, fuss, and fight, but if someone would use soft words to turn away the wrath, a lot of things could have been better in the household. Like, we have to change and break the generational curses that's been upon us from years and years. That's what the I.S.U.P.K under Commander General YAHANNA is teaching us. It's teaching us how to stand up and break the generational curses that our families have brought to us. The stuff that we were born in. We were born into these things. But if we would be slow to anger and fix what we're doing and fix ourselves, we can save our children. We can save the young folks right now, the younger generation that's out here thinking that the only thing they got to do is push and pee. They around here thinking that the only thing they got to do is kill one another. They got to sit here and sell drugs to one another. They got to run off in people's houses. And like, we can stop that. We can stop that curse. We can make it where the police force runs out of money. Like, we don't need the police no more, so we don't even need to fund them anymore. Right. Like, we could make that happen if we would stop being prideful and we'll cease from our anger. If we would turn away from our wrath, man, we would be better off. Now let's go to Proverbs 16 and 32.
Come. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty.
Understand this. Let's read that one more again, because there's something that we got to understand about that. Because most people read that and they'll just overlook it. So read it one more time.
Come. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty.
And keep reading.
And he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city.
Understand this. You could be the mightiest man on this earth, but if you're emotional, you are a fool. Like, when you can be the strongest man on this earth, can tear down a building with your bare hands. You can sit here and be invincible and kill everybody. But if you are emotional, you are stupid. The person that knows how to be slow to anger and be strategic, like, that's how you win the battle. Understand this. And, you know, who knows? Y'all know about Superman and Batman, right? Yeah. See, let me just break it down like this. You have to have the mindset of Batman to be a Superman. Right. You got to be slow. You got to be strategic. You might not have all the power, compared to the man that got all the strength in the world. But because you're strategic, because you're thinking logically instead of emotionally, you can find ways around to win the battle and win the war. You know what? I might not have as much strength as Superman. I might not have as much speed as Superman. I might not have lasers coming out of my eyes like Superman. But you know what? I don't have the same weakness as Superman. Or if I shoot, you know, if I shoot Superman with this kryptonite bullet,
Right.
yeah, that mug going through him. And that's just like the oppressor right now. I might not have as much strength as the oppressor do. I might not have as much power as the oppressor has right now. I might not have as much allies as the oppressor has. But you want to know something? Understand this. With me being slow to anger, me teaching my people to get out of this hell, me teaching my people to come into the truth in the I.S.U.P.K and learn who they are, that is my strength. That is me being strategic enough so that way when everything else falls, the 12 tribes of Israel will stand tall.
Right.
Now that's how you take a city. That's how you take this is how you take your kingdom, man.
Right.
Right now, this is the oppressor's kingdom. This ain't our kingdom. But understand this, our oppressor is full of rage, is full of anger, is full of his own pride and his own things. What we're talking about right now goes over the oppressor's head because he doesn't have brotherhood. This is about brotherhood and sisterhood. This is about being a great husband, a great wife, a great priest. Like, this is what we're talking about right now. We're talking about all the things you need, and the only thing that you need is brotherhood. Right. Only thing that you need to do is follow the laws, statutes, and commandments. Get into the I.S.U.P.K. You will have everything that you need because it says right here, he that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh the city, man. How can you do anything when you can't control your own spirit? Right. When you're being controlled by your demons on a regular basis, how can you do anything? Everything that you do is going to be emotional. And you're wondering why everything is falling apart around you. It's because you're emotional. It's because you cannot control yourself. And you can't control the situations that's happening around you because you, yet again, aren't controlling yourself. There's times that you'll have to be like, well, you know what? I can't control this. Oh, you want to just yell, cuss, scream, and do all that? You know what? Hey, I need peace. I need to be able to control my spirit. So I can control my spirit. I'm just not gonna be around you. Whenever you can control your spirit, then you can come around me. But as long as you want to sit here, yell, cuss, and scream, and be in your emotions to the point where you're not being teachable, not being able to be coachable, then you know what? Hey, just stay where you at. One day you'll see it. And if you don't never see it, then you know what? Lord be with you. Go ahead, brother. You had something?
Hey, so like, so what you're saying, so heavy. I done probably went from somewhere to somewhere else already. Like, I don't even remember what I had before, but you know, like how you saying about, I was just thinking too, like that controlling of your spirit go for so many different ways. Like,
right.
Like David had to control his spirit to take down Goliath.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, you can't, like everybody else spooked and scared and, you know what I'm saying, looking scary.
Right.
David was like, you know who we are? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't finna bow down to no Philistine. Like, he was in tune with his spirit, and it's just a powerful thing, like you said.
Man, like that, like I said, man, this whole lesson is a self-check. Like this is brotherhood, man. You have to self-check yourself. You got to check yourself sometime. Like when you check yourself, you'll see if you're in the right spirit or not. If you can go through these precepts that I'm gonna give you tonight, and you know for a fact you're doing all these things and you're right, and you know what, you might be on to something. But if you go through these precepts that I'm giving y'all tonight and you mess up on one thing, then you might not be in the right spirit. And that's the same thing that I had to learn from the men above me. There's sometimes that I think I might be in the right spirit, and I call them, and I'll be like, hey, Salaka, sir. Like, I do this all the time. I know Captain Kahan and Captain Yapazak. Hey, you know, Barakatah Yahweh Yahweh. I love y'all and General Muhammad and all the generals because I call y'all all the time to make sure that I'm in the correct spirit, man. And they sit here and they're patient with me. Because anybody will tell you, when I first got into the truth, I was a young, dumb, emotional brother. I would do stupid things because of my emotions. And they all checked me until I'm the man that I am now. Right. And they still check me to make sure that I'm better. Because I have brothers under me that needs me. I have a little son right now that needs me. I have wives right now that need me. I can't sit here and be an emotional person. Like, I can't be the head of Shamar and I'll be the most emotional person here. How can you be the biggest emotional person in the school, but you the head of security? You can't do that. It don't add up. Go ahead.
And if I may, like, we all the security for the nation. Mm-hmm. We to watch, like, every person, no matter what department you in, you are the security for your people.
Right. And that's what we have to start thinking about. Like, there's times that we don't think about that. We will lose sight of what we are as priests because we just thinking that we're priests. Yeah, you know, I'm a priest. I'm supposed to go out and I'm supposed to teach. I'm about to show my people the way that they're supposed to go. But you don't understand that you're the person, like, you're the only way that they see holiness. You're the only way that they see it. So if they see that you're going left on a situation, if they see that you can't control your anger, then what do they think is going to be okay for them to do? Not to control their anger. Right. I've seen y'all not controlling y'all anger. Why do you think the Most High put the generals above all of us? Because they control themselves. They control their anger because they know for a fact that this is what needs to be done for us to be safe. Let's drop that, man. Let's go to Proverbs 19 and 11. Let's go to Proverbs 19 and 11. Let me know once you have it. If I need to read it, then I'll read it.
Come. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 19, verse 11. The discretion of a man. The discretion of a man deferreth his anger, and it is holy to pass over a transgression.
So do we know what discretion is? Discretion means the carefulness, the caution, the guardedness, the tactfulness. You know, right there, that's letting you know the carefulness of a man. Salaki, read it again.
Come. The discretion of a man deferreth his anger.
So the carefulness, man, if you are a careful man, you would defer your anger. This goes for brothers and sisters. Like everything that we say, it goes for you, brothers and sisters. If you were very careful, then you would defer your anger. And keep reading. What else does it say?
Verse 12.
No. Keep reading. Defers his anger and what?
And it is his glory to pass over a transgression.
Like, if you defer your anger, you keep yourself from transgressing. That's what we keep talking about. When you are emotional, you transgress. And we all know what transgression is. If we don't know what transgression is, then let's go ahead and get there real quick. All right, go to 1 John 3 and 4. Okay, let's go to 1 John 3 and 4. Go ahead and read that once you have it. All right.
This is the book of 1 John chapter 3, verse 4.
Hold on real quick so that way we can get it on the screen real quick. 1 John 3 and 4. Go ahead and get that on the screen. The water to the brother that is holding it down, putting the precepts on the screen for me, Officer Tazadat. You know, you are a mighty man, and I appreciate you, brother, for real. Go ahead and read.
Come.
whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law.
See, understand this. When you are an emotional person that's not careful on the things that you're doing because you're mad at the moment, you are like, if you're not careful, then you start transgressing. Transgression is sinning. You're transgressing the law. And understand this. Let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and pull another precept. Go to Ephesians 4:26. Because the Bible will tell you everything that you need. It'll tell you everything. Sin is transgression of the law. And a lot of people, when they're mad and upset, they start transgressing the law. Because now it's F this, F that. I don't care about this. I don't care about that. Now you're ready to fight. Now you're ready to argue. Now you're ready to step outside your marriage. Now you're ready to sit here and throw away your whole marriage. Now you're sitting here ready to kill one another. Now because this brother done stepped on your shoes, now you're ready to hurt your own brother. Now you're sitting here ready to, you trying to set up a drive-by because he wearing red and you wearing blue. Because y'all are mad over a color. The oppressor has taught y'all to be mad over a color. The oppressor has taught you, if you step on my shoes because I like my shoes clean, now I got to kill you. Oh, I got to cut you. Nowadays, if you sit here and say anything, now they ready to shoot and kill you. We are so angry and emotional that we will be okay with transgression. But Ephesians, let's go to Ephesians, like I said, Ephesians 4:26. Let's go ahead and get that up. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 26 says what?
It's the book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 26. Be ye angry and sin not.
Be ye what?
Be ye angry and sin not.
No, be angry and sin, because that's what you need to do.
Be ye angry and sin not.
No, it's okay for you to sit here and step on my J's and me shoot you because you stepped on my J's.
Be ye angry and sin not.
Understand this. The Bible says, be ye angry, but sin not. You can be mad at a situation, but what you should do is cool down before you make any rash decisions. What you should do is sit back and understand that what's going on right now and the feelings that you're feeling right now, some of those feelings might be wrong. So before I sit here and do anything that can disgrace not only myself, but my marriage, my priesthood, me being in the I.S.U.P.K, and disgracing what the Most High God has given me, the gift that he's given me, you know what? Maybe I need to sit back and I need to cool down real quick. Women, before you're sitting here ready to disgrace your marriage and your idol one and everything that you said that you worked so hard for, maybe it might be time for you to sit back and just chill for a little while. Maybe y'all need space. And space doesn't mean, oh, I got to call the cops for us to have space. No, space means like, you know what? If we in a 2-bedroom apartment, maybe you go in one room, I go in the other room. If we in a 1-bedroom apartment, you stay in the bedroom, baby. Let me go into this living room. Or you know what? If we can't be in the same house, let you and the children, y'all stay here. I'm going to go. And once we cool down, we can have this conversation. If we out on the streets, if a brother step on your shoes, maybe you need to calm down and hear the brother out. Maybe the brother didn't mean to do it on purpose. Or maybe the brother did mean to do it on purpose, and you might have to just go ahead and grant that brother mercy because he don't know what he's doing. He don't know that you done had the worst day of your life. Your wife done left. Your children done turned their back on you. You about to get evicted because the rent is due. And the only thing that you meant to do is, you know what, I was going to go out with my brothers tonight, and now somebody's stepping on my shoes. Somebody done waste a drink on my shirt. Now you ready to give that brother all your anger. Right. You ready to tear his head off, and he got bumped in the club and accidentally spilled something on you. Or he had his own problems and he did something to you. Man, at that point in time, you need to see what's going on. You need to be like, hey, say, brother, you know, you just stepped on my shoes, man. You just wasted something on my shirt. And you see where it goes from there. Instead of as soon as it happened, you hitting the brother dead in his mouth right then and there. Understand this, man. It says, be ye angry, but sin not. Sisters, don't get mad at your husband because your husband's correcting you to the point where you're ready to block him on all social media and start talking to the next man. Oh, you don't block him on all social media. Now you single. Now you sitting here, oh, my inbox is open for men. Or you posting, oh, you know, looking for new cousins, looking for new husbands, or looking for new friends. I need new friends. No, what you're doing is you inviting people into your inbox.
Right.
That's what whores do, man. Be able to control yourself. Be angry, but sin not. Understand this. You are still married at the end of the day. It don't matter if you hate that man to the bottom of your gut. Understand you still married.
Right.
Like, don't sit here and turn around and be like, oh, since he done pissed me off, and this is my final straw. I'm done with him. I'm finna go do me. I'm finna get my groove back. And really and truthfully, the only thing that you're doing is getting your hoe back.
Right.
You so mad at your husband for correcting you that you ready to go be a hoe again. You ready to go back to the world. That lets you know how much you are actually a follower of Christ. Brothers and sisters, if you sit here and you're angry and you start sinning immediately after your anger, that lets you know how much you are a follower of Christ.
Right.
Because if you are actually a follower of Christ, you will know to self-check. Like I said, it's not always easy. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say, oh, this is easy. Like from this day forth, since you heard this, you're going to do this perfectly every single day. You're not. But these are the things that you should keep in the back of your mind, as they want to say, in your heart, because your heart is your mind. You should keep these things to understand that if this happens, you know what? This is what I need to do. You know, instead of me sitting here being angry and sinning, let me not sin. Let me not sin. All right. And we're going to go to verse 27 in Ephesians chapter 4. We're going to go to verse 27. And that reads, go ahead, brother.
Come on. Verse 27. Neither give place to the devil. Let him that stole steal no more.
Hold on. So right here, when it says, be ye angry, but sin not, neither give place for the devil. That is letting you know right then and there, man.
So like if I may, sir, it was a little bit more on 26 too.
Go ahead.
Come. Verse 26, be ye angry and sin not, let not the sun go down upon your wrath.
Keep reading.
Verse 27, neither give place to the devil.
Understand this, man. When you be ye angry and sin not, you don't leave, and it says, let not the sun go down on your anger. Why don't you let the sun go down on your anger? Go ahead, brother.
It's like, sir, because you're going to start plotting.
Exactly. Anytime you let the sun go down on your anger, man, you plotting. Right. You plotting, you be like, nah, this be like, that sister got me messed up. Right. Like, nah, you know what? All right, I got you. Yeah, Okay, we can't have a conversation. Oh, you finna do this? You finna do that? All right, that's okay. Oh, or for sisters with their husband, nah, you want to sit here and do whatever you feel like doing. I don't like that. You gonna talk to me any kind of way? Nah, you know what? And you ain't come home last night? Well, you know what? I'm packing my stuff and we leaving. Who is we? Who is we? We leaving? What you mean we leaving? I didn't know that you speak French. Who is we? Oh, so you're mad and you're angry. So now you're deciding that you're going to take my family away? Well, you know what? If that's what you feel like you need to do, Lord be with you. Lord be with you. Because not only are you being angry, you're sinning. All right. And then you're trying to take my family, which you think is going to hurt me, because you know how much I care about my family. And because instead of us being grown adults and having a conversation, you decided to be mad. You decided to shut me out. You decided to lock the top lock, so I had to go sleep at my partner crib
on the couch. And then when I was late to work the next day, then you want to sit here and be like, nah, why you ain't come back home? Well, I couldn't come back home because you locked the top lock. Oh, now you about to pack the stuff up and you about to move? You about to leave? You about to take everything away from me? Oh, you ready to throw my clothes out? Oh, you ready to sit here and say you're gonna throw my clothes out, and then when I come get my clothes, you're gonna call the laws on me? Like, oh, okay. So, you know, this is stuff that's happening.
All right.
Because you let the sun go down on your anger, right, and you gave place for the devil.
Right.
You gave place for those demons to come in and be like, well, you know what? Nah, you can't talk to him. The reason why you can't talk to him is because he don't understand you no way. And this happens with brothers that sit here and talk to other brothers. That's why when you have a grievance, you need to bring it to your brother. You need to Matthew 18 and 15. Like, you need to do that quickly, man. Right. You gotta take it to your brother. Right. Like, you got to do that quickly, because if you don't, then you give room for the devil. I sat here and gave, say for instance, I sit here and give Officer YAHANNA, I give him an order, and he don't like it how I gave him the order. He complete the order. He ain't say nothing else to me about the fact that he felt offended by anything that I said. So now Officer YAHANNA like, man, you know what, man? Every time I talk to Officer Ron, he got something new for me to do. Like, God dang, like, next time this brother say something to me, man, I don't know what I'm gonna say. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. I'm sick of this. So the next time I talk to him, he like, nah, sir, you know what? Hey, some lock here, sir, but I don't like them. Hey, hold on, brother. First and foremost, what you got on your shoulders, brother? Like, I ain't never seen you act like this. Like, what's going on, brother? Like, I just sat here and asked you if you could take out the trash real quick. And you around here talking about something that happened 3 months ago that we could have had a conversation about and been done with. But because you let the wrath, you let the sun go down on your wrath and gave place for the devil, now all of a sudden you just ready to snap. You just ready to go all the way in. You can't even control yourself because you just so eager and so ready to sit here and be like, nah, next time he do something that I don't like it, I'm about to go out. And you don't understand the whole time that you wrong. Right. First and foremost, you talking to a man that outrank you incorrectly. Second of all, you talking to your brother. Like, you're talking to your brother, and your brother might not even know that he offended you. But because you were a coward and you wouldn't talk to him and bring it to him and discuss that, the situation got out of hand. Now, every time you see him, you ready to dang near leave the truth because you don't want to hear what he has to say no more. Brothers dealing with your wife, man, you sick and tired of all her mess, but you won't sit here and have a conversation because y'all feel like y'all can't have a conversation, but you don't take it to counsel. You don't get no marriage counsel. And the reason why you don't get no marriage counsel is because you feel like you just know everything. Don't be that person that just feel like you know everything, man, because you don't know enough. Don't ever think that you just know everything, because there's always something new for you to learn. For sisters, understand this. Like, don't let the sun go down on your wrath. Because a lot of times, what y'all do is y'all do a lot of emotional things that cause emotional damage for the children. Because a lot of things that happen dealing with y'all sisters, like sisters, y'all have to control y'all anger. Because a lot of times when y'all get mad, because y'all are the mother, because the children was in your womb. Even though the man humbled you and gave you the child to put in your womb, y'all carried the child, y'all nurtured the child, y'all fed the child, and then you had the child. So now y'all laid claims to the children. So when you're mad at the man, you ready to take everything away from him. Oh no. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take away the child. I'm gonna take away the child. Me and the child, we going somewhere. That's when y'all start speaking French about we. Y'all ready to take everything away. Man, don't let the sun go down on your anger, man. Don't give place for demons. Don't give place for these people, the enemy, to sit here and stand in between you and your husband, you and your marriage. Because that, when you start doing that, then you have lost the battle right there. You haven't lost the war, but you did lose that battle. And that battle is something that you should always win, man. We're going to go to Proverbs 25 and 28. Let's go to Proverbs 25 and 28. All right, like I said, man, today is just going to be a day about slow to anger. I'm just going to give y'all some tools because, like, these tools will help y'all. Yeah. Like I said earlier, it's a self-check. We have to check ourselves daily because there's a lot of demons that run through our minds on a daily basis, and we have to be able to check ourselves enough to notice when it's a demon on us and when we have to sit here and do what we need to do. And sometimes doing what we need to do is learning how to shut up, sit, and get counsel. Sometimes we have to shut up and call someone to be like, hey, you know what, Shalak, I need some counsel real quick. Sometimes you need counsel and it's just for you to control yourself. You know what? I feel like I'm pissed off right now. Like I call my brother Tazadak all the time. I call him and I tell him, like, with my slavery, when they doing stuff in my slave, I call him and be like, say, bro, like, check me real quick. Or I call Officer Malakwat. Like, Officer Malakwat, I don't care what you say, brother. You are an amazing checker. When the spirit not right, brother, you do what you do.
Right.
And I know you know how to do it because you've been checked and you've learned it from the generals. You learned it from Commander General YAHANNA, who's taught it to the generals, who's passed it on down to the captains, who's passed it on down to you. And like, that's brotherhood, to be able to call your brothers and your brothers be able to righteously check you to get you back in the correct spirit, because there's times that you got to be in the correct spirit. And there's times that you're not in the right spirit and you need to learn how to call someone. Sisters, either if you can't talk to your husband, then call your camp leader and be like, well, Salaka, sir, I just need some counsel real quick because I feel like I'm not in the correct spirit. Me and my husband, we just got into it, and I feel like I went about this wrong. Don't be calling and be like, well, he did this, he did that, he did this. Don't point the finger. Let's start self-checking to the point where we be like, all right, well, this is what happened. I did this. I feel like I went wrong because I said this. I did this. I wasn't slow to anger. I wasn't swift to hear him out. I was so quick to respond that I didn't even hear him out. Like, we have to stop that. Because once we know how to stop that, then we can control ourselves. Right now, our demons have controlled us for so many years. And that's what we're going to get into when we get to Proverbs 25 and 28. We're going to talk about that, but our demons have been controlling us for so many years. Now it's time for us to control the demon.
Right.
Like, our demon is, we've been in the truth for 5 years, but our demon been with us for 27 years.
Right.
You know, we have swept out the demons. The demons has came back and brought about 12 partners with them. Now they done built a mansion inside your spirit. They done built a mansion. They having a house party. Every time you get angry, they have a house party with all the legion. And told the legion to come on in. You know, the pool and the water is fine. We got wine here. We got liquor here and everything. Go ahead and read Proverbs 25, brother.
Come. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 25, verse 28.
Come.
He that had no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls.
Man, understand this. If you don't have no rule over your own spirit, you're like a city with no walls. Like, first and foremost, a city with no walls have no protection.
Right.
Understand this. That's something we gotta just. Who wants to be someone with no protection?
Right.
Nobody wants to be there with. That's like you being at home, you being at your apartment, and you don't have no walls, no doors, no nothing. You just have a little cot. It's just everything outdoors. You got a whole house, but with no roof, no insulation, no wood panels. Your bed, you be in your bed sleep. and the only thing you look around and you see is outside, you see the backyard. You don't want to be there because you don't know what's gonna come. You don't know what's gonna happen. You laying back, you chilling, and you look left and you look right, you be like, oh, okay. All right. I see pit bulls over there. I see Rottweilers over there. I see coyotes. I see, like, you not having rule over your own spirit, you not controlling your anger. It's like you're sitting in a house with no walls, no protection. Like, nobody wants that. So the best way to keep your protection and the Lord's protection is controlling yourself and controlling your anger. That's the only way. Anytime you stop doing that, you take the protection away. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to take away your protection. Because your protection is the only thing that you have, man. That's what's keeping you alive is protection. So if you start tripping, then you lose your protection. That's like you sitting here in the middle of a battlefield and you ain't got no gun, you ain't got no bulletproof vest, you ain't got no armor at all. Only thing you doing is with a blindfold walking through the battlefield as they shooting back and forth through the landmines. That's what you do every time. That's what you're doing every single time that you are angry and you're sinning, or you're angry and you're not controlling your anger. That's what you're doing. You're blindfolded, walking through a battlefield with landmines, and you are sitting here just waiting to die. You're trying to see when you're going to catch that first bullet, when you're going to catch that first stray bullet, when you're going to step on that landmine and that landmine going to blow you to pieces. That's what you're looking for. And that's what the demons want. The demons want you to sit here and do those stupid things so that way you can die and get out. The sister saying something must be heavy because she had to grab the microphone and say something, man. And then she got her hands up. She's like, yeah, this is heavy today. Like, controlling your anger is your protection. Following the law, statutes, and commandments is your protection. You can't protect yourself by being emotional. Got a couple more precepts, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all too long, man. Let's go to Hebrews. No, let's go to James. We're gonna go to James 1 and 19, man. Let's go to James 1 and 19. Because we gotta this is something very important that we have to do, man. Let's go to James, the book of James, chapter 1, verse 19. The book of James, chapter 1, verse 19. Let me know once you got it.
Come.
Go ahead.
It's the book of James, chapter 1, verse 19. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath.
Hold on. We're gonna go back again. We're gonna chop and screw it because we gotta go back and hit every last comma and every last break, because this is something that the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, what we have to do. This is something that our oppressor does not do. This is what's going to give us a one-up on everybody else. Go ahead, brother.
Hey, it's like if I may too, sir.
Go ahead.
Real quick. Like, Christians love to say that the scriptures for everybody, but I love how, Paul in his letters, he always did holler at his brothers, like,
cool.
My brethren. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something, like, the oppressor don't talk like that.
Of course, because the oppressor don't have the oppressor don't have that lingo, man. The oppressor don't have this. He can't be fly like us, man. Right. He don't know how to do this. And because he don't know how to do it, he has to do it in the only ways he know how. Right. And the only way he know how to do is exactly what Russia and the Ukraine doing right now. They ready to push the button. They gotta fight. They gotta fight. They gotta show, oh, I'm so masculine. I gotta do it. But what is it saying right there? Read it again. First, in James chapter 1, verse 19. What is it saying?
Wherefore, my beloved brethren.
My beloved brethren, be what?
Let every man be swift to hear.
Let's be swift to hear. So let's not sit here and speak too quickly. Let's sit here and listen to what's going on. What else did it say?
Slow to speak.
And let's be slow to respond. And it also says what?
Slow to wrath.
So first and foremost, it's saying we need to be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. It goes back to what Officer Ram said in the very beginning. You got 2 ears, 2 eyes, 1 mouth. You need to see what's going on. You need to hear what's happening before you say anything. Because if you would take the time to look at the situation, hear what the situation is going and happening in the situation, and then respond, then you would be better off. You would have the best response if you were swift to hear, slow to speak.
Right.
And if you would take the emotions out of it. See, that's what a lot of people don't understand. Here in the I.S.U.P.K, we take the emotions out of it. When we're dealing with the situations, we take the emotions out. Because if you're so busy being emotional, you can't see what's actually happening. You can't see the whole matter because you're sitting here looking at the emotions. Stop trying to look at the emotions, man. Because understand this, the Bible says your feelings can be wrong. Right. But if you feel like your feelings is everything, and you feel like the only way that you can go through life is based off of, I feel this, I feel that, I feel like you're doing this to me, I feel like you're doing that, I don't like this because it don't make me feel right, I feel like I should feel good because this is my life and I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do for my life because this is only, like I only got one life I gotta live. Right. So this is my life, so I should be able to do it how I want to do it. No, right. You are too emotional. And you are not following what the Bible told you because the Bible told you that your life is not yours to live. Right. Your life is the Most High's. Because everything that you're supposed to do is shine light so that way other people that are in darkness can come out of darkness because they see who you are. And the only way they can see who you are is when you're slow to anger and not emotional. Because if you're stuck up on your wrath, then can't nobody understand you, man. The only thing they see is an angry black man. The only thing they see is an angry black woman. The only thing they see is an angry Mexican man, an angry Hispanic woman, an angry Gadite, an angry Indian, Native Indian. That's all that they see. And that's why they don't listen to us. Right. That's why they don't. That's why they don't care, because the only thing that they see is us being angry. They don't see all the pain that they've caused us. They don't care. The oppressor does not care about the pain that they've caused us because they're not our brothers. They don't care about it. The Christian church does not care about the pain that they caused us, because if the Christian church cared about the pains that they caused us, they wouldn't sit here and allow molestation to happen in there. They wouldn't allow any of those things to sit here and happen, man. Everything is falling because they do not care. But the brotherhood and the sisterhood under the Most High that we have right here in the I.S.U.P.K is what's going to help us live. Is what's going to help us keep this going. And the only way we can do that is if we're slow to anger. We got to be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. We have to control ourselves. Go ahead, brother.
And it's like, if I may, sir, what you're saying so heavy too, because like how you talk about how you were saying, like how they go off their feelings so much, like the scriptures say, I believe it's like Jeremiah, like the 17th chapter. The heart is deceitful above all things. Like, yeah, you over there listening to how you feel, not knowing that that's gonna change with the wind. You know, like
as the wind blows,
sent off. You know, and you making decisions as a, like you said, like a sister that pack up the family because she angry. you taking the hedge of protection around that child. The Lord is with that man.
Right. And that goes back with Proverbs 16:8, when it says pride goeth before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall.
Right.
Like these things that's happening, man, like pride destroys a house. Like pride is what destroys us. Pride destroys the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. It's destroying us because right now, why don't we sit here and come together?
Right.
We're too prideful. Like, why don't Blacks and Hispanics like each other? Like, our Hispanic brothers, they feel like this is a Black thing. They feel like the I.S.U.P.K, we're a Black thing. They feel like this ain't their fight. This ain't their battle. This is about y'all Blacks, Indians, and all that. That ain't about them. No, this is about all of us, man.
Right. Man.
Them kids that's trapped in them cages still. Like, let's not forget that there's still kids trapped in them cages, man, with 4 blankets. Let's not forget about that, man. Let's not forget about our Haitian brothers that was down that border and they couldn't get nothing. The U.S. military is trying to keep everybody from getting to them. They tried to keep us from getting to our Haitian brothers and sisters and children. They didn't want us to give them wipes. They didn't want us to give them food. They didn't want us to give them water. They didn't want us to give them clothes. Like, how can you sit here and say that you're proud to be an American and you love everybody that's under that flag, but yet you couldn't have loved them Haitian people enough to give them water, food, diapers, clothes, and even wipes to wash their behinds, man? But you were so quick to get on your horses. You were so quick to round them up. You were so quick to whip them. You were so quick to do all those things, man. You were so quick to deport our Hispanic brothers back to where they're fleeing from. They're fleeing from their hometowns because they know it's nothing but death there. But you want to tell them they need a green card. Where's your green card, oppressor? Because this wasn't your land. You came over here and took our land because you have no brotherhood. And the reason why you don't have no brotherhood is because you don't understand the Bible. There's nothing that you can do. There's nothing you can do because you're so prideful. And they've taught Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, instead of us loving one another, they told us to love them. That's what they taught us. And we're so prideful when it comes down for us loving each other, but we're so weak when it comes down to loving them. Let's get our strength back, man. Let's not love the oppressor. Let's segregate ourselves from the oppressor and love one another.
Right.
Let's do that. So that way we can show each other true love,
right,
true harmony, being together, being able to walk down the street and have the kids playing at the playground and you ain't got to worry about no dirty needles because nobody's on drugs.
Right.
You ain't got to worry about someone being shot at the playground or someone sitting here having a shooting at the end of everybody being at Caro's having a good time because we love one another.
Right.
We don't have to worry about that. There is no drug deals. There is no people hyped up on drugs. There is no sitting here having a hermit crab mentality. We crabs in a bucket trying to get out the bucket. We could just easily do it if we help one another. Let's help one another and stop hurting one another. Go ahead, brother.
That's life I made. So what you're saying so heavy, like the scriptures say, like the devil come to kill, steal, and destroy.
Oh, well.
And like he created this, the oppressor created this society where it's all this death and destruction and madness going on, so it can hide him doing the killing and the stealing and destroying. You still thinking the oppressor is, you know what I'm saying? You still, honestly, if you're not in the I.S.U.P.K, you still thinking the oppressor is God.
Right.
You thinking that oppressor is Jesus. You thinking the oppressor care about you. And he's in the background orchestrating all of this madness and destruction while we out here just in the midst of it, not knowing what we got, not control of our own spirits.
Right. Like, what you said was so heavy. And I just, in the world, everybody's thinking about their intuition. They're not understanding that it's your demon. Oh, women's intuition. I ain't gonna lie. I heard one of the biggest cuts on the women's intuition. Like they say that a woman's intuition is always right. If a woman's intuition was always right, why didn't she know that the man that she chose from the very beginning wasn't nothing?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to sit here and say that this man ain't nothing, he ain't no good, he ain't never been no good, he was no good for me from the beginning. Right. Well, what happened to your woman's intuition? What happened to your third eye there? Right. What happened? Like, what has happened? Nah, that man was probably good for you. He probably is good for you. You just don't like it because he's checking you. Right. You done been a single black woman for the longest time. And I'm not just gonna get on my sisters. I don't want you to feel like I'm just getting on my sisters. Because men, we had the same problem. We feel like we just know everything until we start getting checked by the men above us, and we having to sit here and eat the checking. Like eating the checking is something that when we first get in the truth, we not trying to do. We're gonna argue that down before we eat that checking. But you gotta understand, and this is what I want my sisters to understand. Understand this. For you to have a man that's in the truth, you should take that as like that's glorious. Because not only is this man, especially like being a low-ranking man, trying to climb up the ladder and becoming a high-ranking man, like, do you know how many times we done had to say con out of one con to another man? You talking to an alpha male, because there ain't no beta males in the truth. Ain't none of us no weak men. We not no beta males. We all alpha males. And for us to have to sit here and be like, you know what? Con on one con, sir. There's no reason why a sister shouldn't be able to say con on one con to her husband. Because a man has to submit himself. We have to submit ourselves to the men above us. So there's no reason why. There's no logical explanation why you can't submit yourself to your husband like Ephesians say. Because your husband has submitted himself. A lot of y'all want to go into Ephesians and y'all want to talk about the man submitting to the wife. But y'all understand this. With us submitting ourselves to you, that also means because, like I said, like, matter of fact, since I brought it up, let's go to Ephesians 5. Let's go ahead and go to Ephesians 5 real quick, man. I ain't gonna, like I said, I ain't gonna take up too much of your time, man. We just gotta go through this real quick. Let's go to Ephesians 5 and let's start at 21. Because most times people start at 22. Let's start at 21. All right.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 21. Submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of God.
So you got to submit yourself to one to another in the fear of God. Not just yourself, but when you're submitting yourself, do it. Submit yourself to one another like you're fearing the Most High's judgment. Because if you're not submitting yourself to one another, you are sitting here going against the Most High. Okay? Think about it like that from now on. Don't think about it, oh, the Bible just says submit yourself to one another. No, think about it like, if I do not do this, I'm disobeying the Most High.
All right.
Okay? Keep reading.
Verse 22. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord.
See, the Christian church, in the Christian church, I've heard plenty of women that I know for a fact got the skimpiest dresses on that's around here. I'm talking about dragging a wagon from left to right around here with her Saturday's dress. She done wore her Saturday's dress to Sunday church because you know for a fact she ain't got no drawers on in the church house. And she's saying the Lord is her husband. But it's saying submit yourself. Wives, submit yourself to your husbands as unto the Lord. So And a lot of times I ask a simple question. What you're doing right now, would you do it if the Lord told you not to do it? Would you sit here and question what the Lord said? So if you wouldn't question what the Lord said, why are you questioning what your Lord is telling you to do? See, like most of the times, y'all not looking at the word Lord correctly. Like there's a, like the word Lord means a ruler. The ruler that's over you. Because we also have rulers that's over us.
Right.
That's why we have to say Khan Adon Khan. Yes, Lord, yes.
Right.
Your Adawan is your Lord, and he rules over you.
Right.
So when you are submitting yourself unto your husband, understand this, you're submitting yourself unto your husband as unto your Lord, as unto your ruler,
Right.
somebody that rules over you. That's how you need to submit yourself. We're going to keep reading because I want to get down. I want to talk about both of the aspects because I don't want it to just seem like I'm just getting on the sisters. So I'm going to get on both aspects. All right.
And if I may, so
go ahead, brother.
Real quick, like sisters don't like, they always think like it depend on like, you know what I'm saying? Not even just sisters. Like you said, I ain't going to say just sisters. People
Right.
in general, brothers and sisters, depend on like, it's about being right.
Right.
It ain't like, I remember one time I had got checked by Captain Mashak one time. Just since you had brought it out about General Muhammad, I'm just gonna bring it out. Like Captain Mashak checked me. Like I was coming to fix the camera to get him set up for class. I knew he was doing black watch, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm setting up the camera. He like, hey, I don't touch that camera. I kind of want kind. You know what I'm saying? I sit down. Like 5 minutes later, he about ready for black watch. So he's like, what? Hey, I set up the camera.
Right.
Kind of one kind. Like I'm not saying neither, both responses is the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like he telling me not to set up the camera, I'm not gonna set up the camera, even though I was trying to be proactive and get it set up for him. But it's not about what I want to do, it's about what he want done when he want done.
Right.
So it's like that's something that'd be hard for especially sisters to grasp. They be like, man, you coming in saying the wrong thing, thinking you might be right. You might be like, you might know, like, you might be doing something you know I won't done, but if I tell you not to do it right then and there, don't do
it. And this is what the brother brought out was heavy, and this is what I'm gonna say based off of that. I'm gonna give y'all sisters a cheat code. I'm gonna help y'all out so that way y'all can save yourselves some headache. All right. This is what brothers we learned. If you want to know how to alleviate the pain and the struggle with your marriage, with your husband, with the arguments. Look, if your husband gives an order, just say Khan Adon one Khan. Complete the order. And after you're done completing the order, bring it to him and him alone. That's what us as soldiers, as warriors, as priests, that's what we have to do when we get orders from above. We have to sit here and say, Khan Adon one Khan, as the brother just brought out. He was told not to set up the camera at first. He said, Khan Adon one Khan. Then he was told to set up the camera. He was Khan Adon one Khan. You have to understand, no matter what the order is, complete the order first. After you complete the order, then you check back. Then you be like, hey, Salaka, sir. You know, I completed the order that you gave me. But, you know, I feel like there was something, I feel like there was a better way we could have did that. And because you said it in a correct way, in a correct manner, your husband is more keen to listen to you because you sat here and did what he said do at first. You completed every order that he gave you, and then you told him, hey, what's like I said, next time can we do it like this? Because I feel like this would have been a better way. And he could have been like, you know what? Salakia, you're right. You know what? That could have been a better way. But let's keep reading, because like I said, I want to get on the brothers too. I don't want just to be only on the sisters. Let's go to verse 23. Let's go to 23.
Verse 23. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body.
Understand this, for the husband is the head of the wife. Now, I ain't going to act like y'all don't understand the rank and order. We can keep the precept up right now on the screen. I ain't gonna sit here and act like y'all don't know rank and order. But for those that might not understand what it is when you're in your anger, when you're in your anger and you feel like sinning, understand this: your husband is still the head of you. So don't talk to him like you don't understand what's going on. Don't talk to him like y'all are equal. Don't talk to him like he's beneath you. No, y'all are the same. No, better yet, you know for a fact that he rules over you.
Right. Man. And if I may,
because he's your Lord.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Now, Salaki, sir, what you say was so heavy. Like, if like sisters that usually think that they, like when that spirit come out, like they don't recognize that spirit was given to them by the oppressor.
Right.
Like the oppressor put you over the black man.
Right.
Because he want our households out of order.
Oh, brother, what you saying, brother? That's gonna keep us here till like 10 o'clock. Now I'm trying not to go that far, brother. What you gonna do? You gonna maybe have to bring out some more precepts on, man. I'm trying to get us out of here, man. But like what he's saying is so heavy, man. The oppressor has brought our women, instead of our women being beside us, being the meek, feminine women, and giving y'all the masculine spirit. Right. Understand this: when you start uproaring against your husband, you have taken on a masculine spirit, and because your demon is a man, there is no woman demon, there is no feminine demon. Well, I wouldn't say feminine demon because that's the homosexuals. That's a feminine demon right there, man. And I ain't gonna lie, even y'all feminine demons masculine, because I ain't gonna lie, ain't no way I'm taking nothing up the rectum. Like y'all some strong people for doing some stuff like that, man. But understand this: the demon is a manly spirit on you. Understand that, man. And what we got to do is we got to stop that. So the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body. What did Christ do? What did Christ do for the church? Let's get into that, brother. What did Christ do for the church?
Like you said, Christ gave his life for the church.
Christ gave his life for the church. So as a husband, what is your duty for your wife? Go ahead.
To give your life for your family.
To give your life for your family. Giving your life for your family is going through the headaches and the pains and the struggle of having to train your wife, because your wife has been taught from society and the oppressor that she is the ruler. So you have to sit here and deal with the pain and the agony of fighting that demon on her, because she's had that demon since birth. They done saw this fairy tale story from birth. They done seen the Princess and the Frog. They done seen Cinderella. They done seen every Beauty and the Beast. They done seen Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. They done seen every single thing, even Shrek. They done seen everything that's a love story. Oh, I'm supposed to be this, and I'm supposed to be the ruler, and No. What the Bible is telling you is Most High, Christ, man, woman, children, under that. But we have to follow that. And the husbands understand this. We have to stand firm and stand strong in our households to make sure that our households are ran correctly. Because as soon as we allow the oppressor to come into our households, then our households will die. As soon as we allow all these other things to step in the way, man, our household dies.
Right.
So understand this. It says again, for the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body. Men, you have to teach your family so that way that they know exactly what to do. All right. We're going to keep reading verse 24. And it says,
like, I mean, so
go ahead.
Officer Tazgak wanted to drop a precept if he could.
Go ahead.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. Verse 2, whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of God. And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation.
Understand this, man. We're gonna bring that back. Run that back one more time, man, because like and the water to my brother, like that was a perfect precept, brother. I appreciate that, man. Read that one more again, man.
The book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of God.
Understand this. You need to learn how to submit yourself to your power. Understand this. In a household, the kids have to submit themselves to the mother and the father. And understand this. The mother has to submit herself to her husband. That is the power. That is the chain of command. And if you submit yourself to those things, a lot of stuff can happen correctly. Keep reading, because if you don't do it, it's gonna say it. Keep going.
The powers that be are ordained of God.
So the reason why we have the rank and order is because that's what the Most High God wanted for us. That's what He wanted for us. Keep reading.
Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of God.
Understand this. If you sitting here like, I don't care because I'm an independent woman and I don't listen to nobody. I listen to my own self. I sit here, I ain't got no demon on me. I got this. I don't need this. And if you a brother that can't listen to the men above you, you want to sit here and be loud and clamorous like a woman. Understand this. You're not only disrespecting yourself, you're not only disrespecting that man above you, you're disrespecting the Most High, because the Most High ordained the man above you to sit here and be above you. He's the one that sat here and put that man in position.
Right.
So who are you to sit here and talk back to the man that He put in the position? He put him above you for a reason. There's a lot of people that don't like, maybe you feel like, oh, this brother shouldn't have this rank. Or this brother said, what did this brother do to get to this rank? What did this brother do to get this? What did he? Man, you don't need to worry about that. What you need to do is say con to that brother, because maybe that brother might have something that you need. Maybe you might not see it because you're not supposed to see it. The Most High God saw it. But you can't see it because you're blinded by your envy. You envious of this man. And you can't sit here and listen to him because you feel like you should have had his spot. But if you were supposed to have his spot, the Most High God would have gave you the spot. So be okay with the spot you have.
Right.
And listen. And maybe once you get to the point where you're listening and obeying what the Lord had and what He set up, then more will be given unto you. But let's go back to that Ephesians, man. Hey, like I said, Officer Todd's like the water for that precept, brother. That was right on. Let's go to Ephesians 5 and let's go to verse 24. Because like I said, we done talked about the sisters, we done talked about the wives, and we also told the husbands that you need to teach your family and get your family right. But let's go into verse 24.
Verse 24. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything.
In some things.
In everything.
And about a quarter of the thing.
In everything.
Oh, I feel like I'm right.
In everything.
Understand this, women. You need to be subject to your husband in everything, even when you feel like you're right.
Right.
Because if you do what you're supposed to do, say con, sir, use those soft words that we taught you earlier about, to turn away the wrath, and you come back and be like, Salakia, sir, I feel like there would have been a better way for us to do that. I feel like next time, instead of us buying $200 worth of groceries right now, if we buy about $100 worth of groceries, and then we sit here and find space for all those groceries, and we find out we have more space, then we can go back and buy the other $100 worth of groceries. But now we got $200 worth of groceries right now, and we don't have no space for them. He would be like, well, you know what? You're right. Like, understand this. As men, we can tell you when you're right. You just don't allow us to tell you that you're right because you're so busy trying to be like, I know I'm right, and this is what it is, and you don't want to listen. And then no, just as the church is subject to Christ, wives be subject to your husband in everything. If your husband told you, hey, baby, I don't like, I want you to be feminine. I don't want you talking with no masculine tone.
Because if you trying to be masculine, and we both know I'm masculine, then we gonna bump heads. and then when you trying to figure out why we bumping heads because your masculine spirit is going against an alpha male masculine spirit, which means that it ain't gonna go good. We're gonna be arguing all night long because you're around here talking sideways when you could have just been like, Salaki, sir.
Right.
And a lot of women, y'all feel like y'all are weak. That society will call you weak for submitting to your husband because there's so many independent queens out here, aka I can't get a man because I'm too busy having sex with all men, and I'm ready to put a rose on my clit because I can't sit here and keep a man. And you can't keep a man because you don't know how to be feminine. You don't know how to be submissive. You could find you a man, and you probably had about 8 husbands or 20 husbands, but you too busy being a independent queen. I understand queen doesn't mean the second ruler. No, it means a whore.
Right.
The root word of queen means whore.
Right.
So understand this. It's time for women to be subject and submissive to their husbands and everything. Now let's go to verse 25. Let's go into the verse that most people don't want to go to. The women want to go to this verse, but the men, some of the men in the world, they don't want to go to that verse because they feel like that verse is a cut to them.
If I could, before we hit that verse,
go ahead.
Just since we on that subject of the women, I'm just gonna be real quick. I know you moving, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Like the women with that masculine spirit, more times than not, could have a man, but they can't. The man that is for them is not gonna go for none of that.
No.
So they don't want that. They want a man that they can subjugate and control, which is usually gonna be a homosexual.
All right.
They got an undercover brother or down low, whatever they calling them. Some gay brother.
They call them beta males now.
Oh, that's it.
They call them beta males. That's what they call them. The ones that women can control, they call them beta males.
Right. They got them a beta male, and they trying to just, they trying to run them ragged and all this and the third, but then they get rid of them because they're like, well, you know what? He just couldn't handle a queen or whatever, and now you back single.
Right.
Trying to tell another sister who got a man that she should try to step on. Don't listen to what he's saying while you ain't got no man.
Right. What needs to happen is, and what the sister said, hey sis, Sister Vanessa, I seen your comment, man. Like what you said is spot on, sis. It's called humbling yourself.
Right.
Being humble. Being like all these things about being humble and all that, those things will keep you from a lot of hurt and pain. Being humble, not being prideful, learning how to submit yourself.
Right.
But let's get on to verse 25, man. We got to get on that verse 25. Y'all can't stop me from getting on this one. I'm gonna get on it. I'm gonna talk about it.
Verse 25.
Uh-huh.
Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church.
Do what?
Love your wives.
Husbands do what?
Love your wives.
Uh-huh.
Even as Christ also loved the church.
And did what?
And gave himself for it.
Understand this, husbands. You gotta love that woman you slept with, man. You can't sit here and just be like, man, I'm ready to throw her away, man. I'm sick and tired of this. She doing too much. Man, you sat here and laid with her.
Right.
You sat here and saw that little fine little tenderoni. You was around here like, God dang, she got all the curves that I like. She looking good from the head down to her toes. And you didn't realize that you had a 12-headed dragon sitting right there under wraps. She done put all that makeup on, did all that little twinkling of the jewelry, and you didn't get to know this woman. Right. So now you married her, and now you dealing with the consequences of marrying someone that you really didn't know.
Right.
So now you have to deal with it, and you need to love your wife, and love is correction.
Right. Yeah.
Love
no
is not.
No.
What is the definition of love according to the scriptures, brother? Go ahead and pull that precept. Let's go ahead and get into the definition of love, man. Because love is not the emotional feeling that you're talking about, the ooh-wee, googly feelings and all that. Let's get the precept of what love actually is.
This is the book of 1 John, chapter 5, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
For this is the love of God.
So for this is the love of God. So we talking about love right now. So this is love.
That we keep his commandments.
Uh-huh.
And his commandments are not grievous.
So this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, because his commandments is not grievous. So for you to love your people, for you to love your wife, husbands, you have to teach them. You have to go through the heartache. You got to go through the pain. You got to go through the headaches. You got to go through the fights. You got to go through the counsels. You got to go through all that because you decided that that was your wife.
Right.
And that's why I gave you the precepts. Slow their anger, brother. I understand this will help you with your patience, brother. You know, we all don't like it. We don't like getting punched in our head, but you know, hey, brother, you chose it, so now you got to catch them uppercuts. Right. You know, as General Muhammad said, you got to take that bag. You got to be able to, you got to be able to deal with what's going on, man.
Right.
And with you dealing with that and loving your wife, sticking with her through all the hard times, and like you'll get those good times.
Right.
You'll have some peace, but you got to go through hurt. You got to go through struggle. You got to go through pain to get to those peaceful days. You got to be loving and caring.
Right.
You got to sit here and show empathy. You got to be empathetic.
Right.
Empathy, not sympathy. You got to show. You got to be empathetic, man. You got to sit here and deal with the emotions, because the woman is the weaker vessel. So they're going to naturally be emotional. And even though they're naturally emotional, you have to sit here and deal with that, because that's the only way that you will, like, that's the only thing that's going to happen. Like there's no other way for you to deal with that. You have to deal with it, man. So let's be loving to our wives. Let's long suffering with our wives, because they're ours. We can't throw them back to the waters for her to find another fisherman. We can't hook in that fish, reel it up, and be like, oh, I kept this fish for I'm gonna keep this fish for a couple of days, put it in the fish tank, and then you tired of looking at that fish, so now you throw it back into the water. You can't do that, man. You caught that fish, you gotta keep that fish.
Your fish.
That's your fish from now on. Figure out what you want to do with it, brother. If you want to keep it in the aquarium, if you want to, whatever you want to do with your fish, brother, that's your fish.
Right.
Don't try to throw your fish back into the water and make it somebody else's fish, man. Because that's not brother. That's not brotherhood, man. So let me see. Do I got any more? No, I think that'll be it right there, man. I just I appreciate that. But and this is, like I said, man, this is what the men above me has taught me, man. They've taught me to be patient and slow to anger, because when I'm not slow to anger, then a lot of things happen. So this is gonna be a self-check for everybody, man. And everybody use this self-check to make sure that you are living correctly, because if you're not living correctly, then you're just like the oppressor. And none of us want to be like the oppressor.
Right.
If you want to be like the oppressor, then understand this: when the Most High comes back, you will have something you got to deal with. All right. And with that, I want to say Amajim, which means to stand. Sar, which means to face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew, then in English. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Wadash. I.S.U.P.K. Shemka. Yahweh. Malakwa. Taba'ah. Ratazayaka. I.S.U.P.K. Ba'aratazah. Kawa. I.S.U.P.K. Bashamayim. Ladamanawa. Alakam. Call. Yawam. Wasalaknawa. Kabawaknawa. Kasalaknawa. Wala'a. Tabaya'anawa. Manasayawan. Abal. Aishanawa.
Mayan,
Mayan,
Ra,
Ra,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Laka,
Laka,
Amalakwa,
Amalakwa,
Wahala,
Wahala,
Wahata Para,
Wahata Para,
La'awalamu,
La'alalam,
Aman.
Aman,
In the English, our Father,
our Father,
which art in heaven,
which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
thy kingdom come,
thy kingdom come,
thy will be
thy
done
will be done
in earth
in earth
as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day
Give us this day
our daily bread,
our daily bread,
and forgive us our debts
forgive us our debts,
as we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our debtors,
And lead us not
and lead us not
into temptation,
into temptation,
but deliver us from evil.
but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom,
For thine is the kingdom,
and the power,
and the power,
and the glory,
and the glory,
forever.
forever.
So be it.
So be it.
So, we're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers, then the sisters. Men of Israel, but, Barak, Yahweh, YAHANNA, YAHWEH, Barakatah, Yadamatah. So, face the sisters. Men of Israel, but, Barak, Yahweh, Shema, YAHANNA, YAHWEH,
Yahweh Shema, Eloah, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah.
Yadamatah. Dismiss.